The priest spoke, "Princess, congratulations on completing 1,000 days of prayer, Your Highness," Olga replied. "Thank you." The priest continued, "You must be tired after spending all those days in prayer. May I suggest you get some rest first?" Olga replied, "No, I am fine. I have been away from home for too long. My husband must be waiting for me. I would like to return home as soon as possible." The priest told her, "I will ready the carriage and knights to take you back home." After that, Olga thought, "I am finally going home. The last 3 years were long and hard to bear." She remembered when she said, "It was only a dream. Everything will be fine. Why would the crown prince try to kill you? He is your brother. You know that would never happen." Sergal spoke, "No, you don't know anything. Both my father and my brother think of me as the embarrassment of the family. Once my brother sits on the throne, he will have me killed. So please, pray for me. I heard the goddess Neva grants the wish of a saintess if she prays to her for 1,000 days. I know it won't be easy, but will you please do it for my sake, my wife? You are the only one in my family I can turn to for help." Suddenly she thought, what happened? The coachman told her, "I apologize, Your Highness, the wheel cracked, so we will have to go somewhere to fix it before we continue on." Olga asked, "Is there any place we can have it fixed?" The coachman replied, "Your Highness, the castle of Duke Rurick is nearby." After some time, Olga thought, the castle of Duke Rurick, of all places to be, why did it have to be Duke Rurick's castle? Duke Mikhail Rurick is also known as the Beast of Rurick Castle. Rumors have it that he has the look of a fierce beast and a cruel personality to match. As if that is not enough, he is said to be promiscuous and hedonistic as well. I should not judge a man by rumors alone, especially when I have never met him in person, but I don't feel comfortable staying in the castle of a man my husband hates. I would rather leave immediately once the repairs are done. I will probably never be back here anyway. Next scene. Knights came and spoke, "Greetings, Your Highness, but we were not informed you would be returning today." Olga replied, "That is fine. I did not think it was necessary to send word in advance. Where is His Highness?" The knight replied, "I am not sure." Olga, judging by the light, said, "He seems to be in at that hour. I will head up myself. I don't want any of you telling the prince that I am back." The maid spoke, "They were so happy in marriage, unlike most couples in political marriages." The other one replied, "Yes, the prince did everything to make the princess happy. Well, at least on the surface." In the castle, Olga opened the door and said, "I am back." But the next moment, she asked, "What is this?" Erzay replied, "I can explain." Sergal also said, "When did you get here?" Olga asked, "How could this be happening?" She thought, "We were not allowed to meet for the 1,000 days I was in prayer. But I knew you came by every now and then to watch me praying from afar. I never once doubted your love for me." Olga spoke, "As for you, Erzay, when you were shunned and looked down upon in high society because you were from a tiny nation, was it not I who vouched for you and looked after you? So how could you do this to me?" Sergal told her, "This is a misunderstanding." Olga shouted, "Don't you touch me." Sergal spoke, "My beloved, please calm down and listen to me. This is not anything serious." Olga stated, "My friend is in bed with my husband in the very castle I live in. Do you mean to say that is nothing serious? I must have been a fool to have spent 1,000 days praying for a man like you. You do not deserve to be king." Sergal said, "Watch your mouth." Olga asked, "Did you finally decide to stop playing the victim?" Sergal continued, "Don't you dare mock me. I will not forgive anyone who insults me, not even you." Olga asked, "Forgive me. You are making a big mistake. My 1,000 days of prayer may be over, but I have yet to say my wish to the goddess. Oh, hear me, goddess Neva." Next moment, Sergal stated, "Fine, call on your goddess. I will send you to her." Olga thought, "Goddess Neva, if my 1,000 days of desperate prayers have ever reached you, I ask that you grant me a wish. I don't want to die a miserable death like this." Next scene, Olga heard, "I think she is really dead. I told you not to hit her so hard." "Nonsense, shake her and wake her up already." Erzay spoke, "You wench, you startled me." Olga thought, "What is going on?" Erzay continued, "How dare you? You are nothing but a servant girl." The other maid spoke, "We saw that she is alive, so we should leave now. The guests will be arriving shortly." Erzay said, "You are lucky. I will let this slide because I have other things to do today, but you will pay for it if you ever act like this again." The maid told her, "You seem terribly unwell. You should get some rest in your room. I will call you when you are needed." Anastasia thought, "Anastasia, This is not a dream. Goddess Neva really granted me my wish, but I never knew it would be fulfilled this way. She remembered Goddess Neva said, my pitiful daughter. Olga asked, did you bring me back to life? Neva replied, no, unfortunately, you have died, but as you have completed the 1,000 days of prayers, I shall take mercy and grant you a wish. Olga said, then I want to be brought back to life so I can have my revenge on Sergal. Neva told her, as a deity, I cannot condone vengeance in humans, but if the prophecy of the stars is right, the man you seek vengeance upon will bring about a great storm of blood over the entire continent. Olga asked, what? Are you talking about Sergal? Neva continued, if your vengeance can prevent the great chaos, perhaps your vendetta could help stabilize this world, so I shall grant your wish. But a body and soul that had once been together cannot be reunited after they have been detached from each other. So you must enter the body of someone else who has died in order to return to the living world. It needs to be someone related to you by blood who died while you were still living. There seems to be one who fits that description. Her name is Stasia, and she is your half-sister. You will find out the rest once you are transmigrated. By the time you open your eyes again, you will no longer be Olga, you will be Stasia. Now Stasia thought, I was transmigrated into the body of my half-sister. That is how I returned to the living world. I can see what Neva meant by that. I can feel Stasia's memories flow into me. She was an illegitimate daughter of my father, and she had to live a miserable life as a maid serving Erzay. Suddenly, a maid came and shouted, that is enough rest for you. Get to work, there are a lot of things to do before the guests arrive. After that, Erzay asked, how dare you, you wretched wench, I told you to never walk outside the mansion without my permission. The maid spoke, I apologize. I was taking her to the kitchen because we needed more people to help. Stasia, don't just stand there, apologize to Miss. Stasia thought, I feel enraged and humiliated, but I must keep it in. I am not Olga anymore. I am Stasia now. I must hold it in. Stasia spoke, I apologize. Erzay stated, never leave the kitchen. You will not serve the food in the hall under any circumstances. After that, the maids whispered, maids have it hard. Even when they are pretty, Madam has a nasty temper as it is. She must be so jealous that a maid is prettier than her. The maid told her, go to the kitchen storage and peel the onions there. Suddenly, she heard a voice, Lady Olga. Erzay spoke, welcome. Thank you for coming all the way here. You must be tired from your journey. Stasia thought, my goodness, is that me? Stasia continued thinking, why am I alive? So I did not simply come back to life as Stasia. The maid shouted, did you not hear what I said? I told you to go to the storage. Stasia replied, I am sorry, I will head there right away. After that, Stasia thought, let me try to make sense of everything that happened. I asked for revenge, and I got transmigrated into my half-sister. To be precise, Stasia died on the day she was fated to die, and my soul was transferred into her body since her soul no longer occupies it. Then I can match the events with what I remember as Olga. Stasia died from Erzay's constant abuse, around the time I visited Erzay's mansion in my past life as Olga. That means I was sent back in time to a point long before my death. Then perhaps I could stop the marriage and save Olga in this universe, but first, I must find a way to stop living as Erzay's maid. I have to prove that Stasia does not belong here, since there is not much I can do as a maid. Stasia inherited a golden ring from her mother. If I take the ring to the Marquis, he will surely accept me as his daughter. He won't deny my ties to him since the name of House Tolstoy is engraved on the ring. My father is an ambitious man, and he might even celebrate the fact that he has another daughter to marry off for his political endeavors, but what do I do after that? Suddenly, she bumped into the real Olga, then she said, I am terribly sorry, the tears were covering my eyes. Olga spoke, your eyes have the color of amber, just like mine. I think you are the first person I have seen other than my family who has amber eyes in this kingdom. Stasia thought, I had no idea I might run into her. Olga continued, I am sorry I interrupted whatever you were doing. You may go about your day. The next moment, Sergal came. Olga asked, why did you not wait for me inside? Sergal replied, I want to be with you wherever you go, since we will soon be married. Then at night, Stasia thought, it has always been my dream to have a loving family of my own, so I was very happy and excited before the wedding. It was an arranged marriage, but Sergal was very affectionate to me, so I opened my heart to him because I was touched by his actions. Let's say I managed to prove who I am and return to the Tolstoy manor. Will I be able to stop Olga from marrying Sergal? I don't have any proof to justify why this arranged marriage must be stopped. More importantly, Sergel and I used to love each other at that point. After that, Stasia thought, maybe the night air will calm me down. I should try to think everything over. Suddenly, she thought, who could be in the gardens in the middle of the night? That voice. Could it be him? Stasia was shocked. She thought, I don't believe this. They were already seeing each other at this point in time. Erzay asked, Olga is staying with us tonight. Are you sure this is safe? Sergel replied, she is probably sleeping in her room by now, so there is nothing to worry about. That woman always does the same thing every day. Just like clockwork, sometimes, she makes me wonder if she might be a monk who never does anything for fun, Erzay said. My goodness, that must be so boring. Sergel spoke, well, I have someone else for the fun side of things, Stasia thought. He never loved me at all, everything was a lie. Next morning, Stasia thought, that night made everything clear to me. My mind was filled with the idea of taking my revenge on Sergel and Erzay. It no longer had any room for doubts or second guesses. Witnessing them that night gave me all the proof I needed to talk Olga into calling the marriage off. After that, the butler asked, did you say you were here on Miss Erzay's errand? Stasia replied, yes, Miss instructed me to meet Lady Olga in person and hand her this letter. The butler said, that is the seal of House Báthory, follow me. After that, Olga asked, did Erzay send me a letter? You are the girl with golden eyes I met at Erzay's manor, nice to see you. Well, did Erzay instruct you to take a reply back as well? Stasia spoke, if it would not be too much trouble, please read the letter immediately and decide what you would like to do, my lady. Olga started reading the letter, then she asked, who wrote this letter? Stasia replied, actually, I was the one who wrote it. Olga stated, cancel all my plans for the day, I would like to speak with this girl in private. After some time, Olga asked, now that we are alone, let me ask you once again, did you write this letter? Stasia replied, yes, my lady, I lied to the butler so I could speak to you in person. Olga asked, what about the content of the letter, are they true? Stasia replied, yes, my lady, I saw everything myself. The prince and miss are secretly in a romantic relationship. Olga asked, why should I trust you? Perhaps you were hired to spread lies about them. Stasia thought, yes, you probably find it hard to believe, maybe you don't want to believe at all, but you need to trust me. She told her, I understand it must be hard to believe someone whom you have just met, so, if you would bear with me, I will tell you my story. After that, Stasia told her the long story about how Stasia was born and how she is the half-sister of Olga. Then I told her how I witnessed Erzay with the prince, and why I decided to tell her about it. It was not hard to convince her, in a way, she would believe me, because I was her. Olga spoke, so you have the ring with the name of my house engraved on it. This is clearly my father's ring. Everyone knows my father has slept with many ladies, so many came to us claiming to be his child. But you are the only one who came to us with something that belonged to him. I can see you are truly my sister, and you came all the way here to stop your sister from making a foolish decision. Stasia replied, don't say that, you are not foolish. The prince is to be blamed for playing with your feelings and lying to you. Olga commented, thank you for saying that. Stasia thought, I'm sure she feels confused right now, but Olga, I know that you, of all people, will eventually overcome this crisis. Olga stated, I have no intention of marrying someone who betrayed my trust, but I can't cancel that arranged marriage on my own, because it has greater political implications. Stasia replied, yes, I know, but there are things you can do. I have a plan. If you can't call the engagement off, we just need to make the prince cancel it himself. Olga asked, what? How do you plan to do that? Stasia told her, we are going to catch him red-handed. She thought, trust me, everything will turn out okay. I promise I will set everything right this time. Stasia continued, it always happens when you have to go to the Holy Land to pray as their saintess. On that day, the prince always visits Erzay's mansion. On the day you are supposed to go for prayers this month, I want you to turn your carriage around and come to Erzay's mansion at night. Olga replied, I see, yes, I will head to Erzay's mansion that evening. Next scene, Stasia thought, the prince is here again, as usual, I must hold it in, this is not the right time yet, sure, enjoy yourselves tonight, because this is the last time you will ever enjoy it. After that, Olga said, thank you for waiting for me. Stasia replied, don't mention it, my lady. Olga continued, we are trying to be discreet, go wait for me somewhere away from the mansion. After that, Olga asked, did the prince really visit the mansion tonight? Stasia replied, yes, let me take you to him right away. This hallway allows one to get to Erzé's bedroom in the detached building without getting noticed. Erzé and the prince must be enjoying themselves there, as they always do. This way, my lady. Olga spoke. I will walk alone from here. Stasia replied, but, then she thought, she knows what is going on because I told her about it, but to see her beloved fiancé cheating on her with her own eyes must be quite painful. No one would want to share that dreadful moment with anyone. Stasia replied, I see, it is straight up ahead. Olga said, thank you for understanding how I feel. Stasia told her, I will be waiting at a spot where I can see the bedroom balcony. Come out to the balcony and send me a sign if anything happens. Olga replied, I will remember that. One more thing. Let's go on a trip together once this is all over. I have always wanted to travel with my family, and I would love to go on a trip with you, because you are my sister. Stasia spoke, sure, I would love to travel with you too. After some time, Stasia thought, I always felt lonely as a child, so I constantly wished I had a sibling, but I never knew I actually had a sister. Maybe we will become very close as sisters. It looks like it will rain. Is Olga still up there? That is Olga. What is going on, prince? Oh no, he did that again. Olga was dead. The prince spoke. She is dead. Erzé asked, but how could you kill her? The prince replied, what are you talking about? I did not kill her, Erzé emphasized. That is not true. I saw you push Olga off the balcony. The prince shouted, damn it. What the hell are you saying? It was an accident. This was not supposed to happen, Erzé replied. In any case, I had nothing to do with this. I was not involved in her death. Suddenly, they heard the butler's voice. Lady, where are you? What happened? I heard a scream, Erzé replied. It is the butler. I am over here. The prince grabbed her and stated, don't go. We are not done talking yet. We are going to tell everyone that Olga accidentally fell to her own death. If you agree to do that, I will marry you in exchange. You always wanted to be a princess, didn't you? Erzé asked, do you mean that? Will you really make me a princess? Prince Sergel replied, of course. I swear it by my name as a prince of Rukrona. Stasia thought, I was able to return to the servants' dormitory without being seen by Sergel and Erzé. Then I suffered from a severe fever for 10 days, which nearly killed me. But the nightmares I had over those 10 days were far worse than the fever itself. I kept dying over and over again in my dreams. Or perhaps those were not just nightmares. Maybe it was the scene I witnessed, playing over and over again before my eyes. A month later, Stasia said, it is all my fault. The whole world could not stop talking about how the fiancé of the prince mysteriously fell to her death. But it only lasted for a short while. They soon forgot about the whole incident, once it was no longer worth gossiping about. She thought, I felt miserable because I was sure the same thing would have happened after my death. The prince covered the whole incident up, and no one attending the funeral was genuinely sad. I was hoping life would turn out differently this time around. I won't give up and let this incident crush me. She spoke, I will come by you and visit you again, Olga, my beloved sister. The Duke was watching her and thought, I didn't know Olga had a younger sister. An aide came and asked, Your Grace, where did you go? I have been looking for you. You know what? I bet you followed that suspicious lady. But you could have at least told me you would be gone for a while. I had to go all over the huge cemetery looking for you. The Duke replied, You should have waited. I would have gone back there anyway. Why did you even go around looking for me? The aide said, Your Grace, you can't be serious. So, did you find out who the lady was? She seemed very suspicious, and you really shouldn't talk to someone you know nothing about. The Duke remembered, 2 hours ago, he had spoken, Happy birthday, my brothers. The aide came and said, I found out why there are so many people in the cemetery today. Apparently, they are here to attend the funeral of Olga, the fiancée of Prince Sergel, who died a month ago. But why did they wait a whole month to hold her funeral? The Duke replied, Perhaps it was because of the tria. They say it was an accident, but it was a sensitive case because the prince was involved. The aide said, Her father sounds like a terrible man. He seems to prioritize his political ties over his daughter's funeral. Then he said, Your Grace, look up there. Stasia was trying to climb the wall. The next moment she thought, Oh no, this is going badly. The next moment, the Duke caught her. He thought, She is as light as a feather. She doesn't seem to be an assassin sent to kill me. The aide asked, Are you both all right? Stasia replied, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I wasn't hurt. All thanks to you. The Duke asked, Why did you jump over the wall instead of using the gate? Stasia replied, I wanted to attend Lady Olga's funeral. I had no choice but to climb over the wall since I was not invited. The aide asked, how are you related to the Tolstoys? This is the royal cemetery in the south. One must have proper credentials to be given entry. Stasia asked, are the two of you from the Duchy of Rurick? The aide said, how did you know that? Stasia replied, well, you were paying respects to gravestones that belong to the Rurick family. Everyone knows people from Rurick Castle don't leave their area very often, and judging by your looks, I suppose you were trying to be discreet. It looks like none of us want any attention, so why don't you pretend you never saw me, and I'll pretend I didn't see you as well. I'm quite short on time, so I must get going now. The Duke spoke. I followed her to see who she was. It seems like she is the daughter of the Marquis. The aide asked, but the late Lady Olga was the only child the Marquis ever had. The Duke told him, the Marquis is known for his womanizing ways. Surely, he must have an illegitimate child or two somewhere. Now, in the present time. The Duke thought, but it was the way she was crying in front of Olga's grave. Those tears were genuine. Only someone who has lost a family member would cry like that. The aide said, the illegitimate child of the Marquis. She didn't seem or act like a noble lady, but she spoke like one, and she knew she was standing in the graveyard of House Rurick. I suppose you could be right about her. Anyway, I hope we will get to see her again. After all, it's quite rare to see a beauty like her in the kingdom. Are you sure you didn't go after her for other reasons? The Duke told him, that's enough nonsense, let us get going now. That afternoon, the butler spoke, you must be upset, my lord. We can't form an alliance with the prince through a marriage anymore. My condolences, my lord. The Marquis spoke, I raised her for nothing. I was just about to start reaping the rewards for looking after her, but she died like a fool, without being of any use to me. Suddenly, the Marquis thought, I've never seen that beauty before. Stasia spoke, I know it was rude of me to speak to you before being spoken to, but may I ask for a moment of your time? I would like to say hello to you. For you are my father. The Marquis thought, so that's what this is about. He replied, are you one of those frauds who claim to be my offspring? I'm not in the mood for this today, just go away. The butler shouted, his lordship is still grieving from his daughter's funeral. How dare you approach him with lies? The late Lady Olga was the only child his lordship ever had. Be gone this instant. Stasia spoke, Lady Olga acknowledged that I am indeed her sister. The Marquis told her, Olga is dead and can't verify your identity. Why should I believe you? Stasia replied, I'm sure you remember the ring you gave my mother before leaving the duchy. The Marquis thought, this ring, Stasia continued, and this is a letter Lady Olga had sent me. The Marquis asked, who knows if you had someone copy her handwriting? Stasia told him, nonetheless, I hope the ring and the letter explain a bit about my background, as described in the letter. I am the child of the maid you loved while you were stationed in the Duchy of Sylvany. I came to see you because I was worried about you. You must be devastated by the sudden passing of Lady Olga. I know I am nothing compared to the late Lady Olga, but I would like to help you in any way I can, my lord. The Marquis started laughing. Then he said, once I adopt you as my daughter, your life will change completely. Do you understand what that means? Stasia replied, yes, and I am ready for it. The Marquis continued, I will reach out to you in a few days. Stasia replied, I will be waiting. She thought, first, I need to become a part of the Marquis's family and be accepted as a noble. That way, I will be able to use the power and influence of my house to stop Sergel from rising to the throne. A few days later, Erzé spoke, I can't believe you're getting adopted by the Marquis. It seems like the commoner mother of yours did something right for once, Stasia stated, Miss Erzé. Erzé asked, what did you just say to me, you arrogant little wench? Stasia spoke, arrogant, me. The next moment, she slapped her. Stasia stated, I am no longer your maid, Miss Erzé, daughter of a baron. I am Stasia Tolstoy, the only surviving daughter of the Marquis. That is who I am. Do you understand? You'd better watch what you say and how you act around me, because I make it a point to return what someone has done to me. So long, I don't have time to waste here. After some time, a servant spoke, his lordship is not in the manor at the moment. He said you should be ready to dine with him tomorrow in the evening. You can use this room, my lady. Stasia thought, I wish I could live in the room I used in my past life, but it wouldn't be right since it hasn't been long since Olga passed away. I became a part of the Marquis household as planned, so I need to think about what to do next. I suppose I will have to agree to an arranged marriage, since I am now a part of the Marquis's family, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Ladies are treated like trophies in the kingdom. So it will be easy to get my revenge by using my husband's influence, rather than trying to do it all by myself. The problem is that I don't know whom my father might choose. The match is guaranteed to be someone powerful, but they might be too close to the royal family. To make matters worse, my father aligns himself too closely with people who support Sergal. That won't work for me at all. I need to find a suitable partner before he arranges one for me. I need someone who would go against Sergal. Someone powerful and with a decent personality too. Why didn't I think of him? House Rurick is the only surviving family from the collateral line of the first king. And everyone knows the Duke has bad blood with the King of Rukrona. He might be the person I need. After some time, a servant asked, "My lady, his lordship is waiting for you in the dining room." Stasia replied, "I see, I will be there shortly. I know where the dining room is, so you don't have to guide me there, you may leave." The servant thought, I can't believe she was living as a maid just a few days ago. She is graceful. Stasia thought, this is the first time I'm dining with the Marquis after I was officially adopted into the family. It's probably nothing more than formalities. A maid spoke, "Please enter, my lady, they are both waiting for you." Stasia thought, "Both." She opened the door. Prince Sergal spoke, "It's a pleasure to meet you, lady." Stasia thought, what is Prince Sergal doing here? Marquis spoke, "Please forgive her, your highness. She must be shy because she has never received such an esteemed guest before." Stasia greeted Prince Sergal. The prince replied, "There is nothing to worry about. I am not one for formalities." Stasia thought, "I don't understand. Why is this happening? Why is Sergal here?" After that, the prince asked, "Are you unwell, lady? You hardly touched your food at all." The Marquis spoke, "It seems like she was so excited to hear about her engagement to you, that she hardly got any sleep last night." Stasia thought, "What? That is ridiculous." The Marquis asked, "Have you no manners at all?" Stasia replied, "Please forgive me for my terrible manners. I am feeling rather unwell, so I hope you will excuse me." The Marquis shouted, "Don't you dare leave before His Highness. Get back here right now and sit down." The prince spoke, "Don't be harsh on her. It's fine. She seems quite unwell, so I will go and walk her back to her room." Stasia thought, how could this be happening? What kind of father would do this? Right after his first daughter died, he had his second daughter engaged to the same person in her place. His lust for power is disgusting. The prince came and said, "You are barely able to stand. Let me walk you back to your room." Stasia replied, "I am fine, your highness. You don't have to do that." The prince continued, "Don't be shy. There's no need to refuse me. This is the least I could do for the lady I will be wed to." Stasia thought, how could he act like this when the dust over Olga's grave has not even settled yet? How shameless and ridiculous of him. Stasia spoke, "I don't understand this arrangement, your highness." The prince asked, "What is there to understand? You don't seem to understand how things work in high society. Commoners have no one but themselves to think about, but the same can't be said for royals and nobles like us. I must consider the kingdom's stability as its prince, and you must serve your house as the daughter of a marquis. Marriages in high society have little to do with frivolous feelings of an individual. They are a means to secure the prosperity of one's house. They also happen to be the greatest honor a lady can bring to her house. Do you understand now? Since we are on the subject, I would like to confirm something. You inherited the bloodline of the Marquis, so the blood of a saintess runs in you, does it not?" Stasia thought, what a horrible bastard, so that is the whole purpose of this engagement. Stasia asked, I understand engagements and marriages in high society have nothing to do with one's feelings, but does Olga mean nothing to you anymore, your highness? The prince stated, how dare you, you arrogant little wench, I am warning you, if you ever bring up that woman's name before me again, you will have hell to pay for. It seems that you have recovered and don't need anyone to walk you to your room. I will let this slide since you were supposed to get engaged to me, but next time, I suggest you brush up on your courtly manners. First it was Erze, and now that girl. Why do all these fools think they can disobey me? The prince, Stasia thought. I must see the Duke right away, otherwise I might end up having to marry Sergal. Next scene. The coachman asked, why do you wish to visit Castle Rurick at this ungodly hour, my lady? Stasia replied, I have my reasons, but before we head there, I need to make another stop. Next scene. The aide spoke, Your Grace, you should have been asleep in bed. you haven't slept a wink for many nights in a row. The Duke replied, but I still have work to do. The aide continued, I can take care of it, that is what an aide is for, but if you would rather put yourself to work instead, I suppose I won't have anything to do but loaf off all day. The Duke replied, sure, I will leave the rest of the work to you. After some time, the Duke saw a dream in which both children said, Happy birthday to you. His father also said, Happy birthday, my beloved son. His mother was also smiling and wished him well. The father spoke, as per the tradition of the kingdom, let's share a pile of crepes for your birthday. Then they started eating. In the next moment, the mother died, the father and the children were also dying. One of them said, my tummy feels strange, it hurts so much, I don't want to die. The Duke woke up and thought, it's that dream again. After some time, a knight came and said, a suspicious lady is here and asking to meet his grace. The aide asked, what does she want? The knight continued, she wouldn't tell us anything, and insists on speaking to his grace directly because it is an important matter, but she did introduce herself as the daughter of Marquis Tolstoy. Next scene. The aide thought, this is not the carriage of House Tolstoy, that is the carriage the Bank of Ath uses, it must be quite something important indeed. He said, I am sorry to have kept you waiting, then introduced himself. Stasia replied, it is a pleasure to meet you. The aide told her, I believe we saw each other not too long ago at the royal cemetery, isn't that right? Stasia replied, yes, I could not properly introduce myself at the time because I had yet to be registered in the family. The aide told her, that's all right. Why don't we step inside first? I will instruct the men to carry your belongings into the castle. Stasia spoke, but I would like to take this chest with me. The aide commented, very well, I will have them bring the chest into the drawing room, please follow me. After that, the aide said, Your Grace, you have a visitor. The Duke asked, I don't recall anyone scheduled for a visit today, who is it? The aide replied, it seems like you were fated to meet this visitor, she is waiting in the drawing room. Scene change. Stasia tried to say, greetings, Your Grace, but she was shocked. The Duke said, I remember you. Stasia continued, please forgive me, I did not realize who you were at the time. The Duke told her, that's fine, so, what brings you here? Stasia stated, Your Grace, let me get straight to the point. My name is Stasia Tolstoy, and I came here to ask for your hand in marriage. Suddenly, both the knights entered the room and asked about the marriage proposal. After that, they introduced themselves. They were from House Obolensky. Stasia thought that House was one of the distant relatives that stemmed from the royal line, just like Duke House Rurick, but currently, they served House Rurick instead of supporting the royal family. The captain said, You are truly beautiful and graceful, but your beauty would be wasted in a remote castle like this. Why trap yourself in here with the beast of the duchy? Why do you wish to marry his grace? Obolensky spoke, I mean, Captain, what are you talking about? Please forgive my brother's nonsense. Maxim continued, come on, don't you all want to hear the reason? House Tolstoy is one of the most influential families in the kingdom at the moment, so why would a young and beautiful lady from House Tolstoy ask his grace to marry her? What is the real reason behind it? The aide also spoke, you have a point. Everyone knows the current king is jealous and wary of Duke Rurick's reputation and influence. Marquis Tolstoy is a loyal supporter of the king, so House Rurick would not be an ideal family for you to marry into, don't you think so? Stasia thought, they easily led me into the castle, so I let my guard down, but I should have known better. I can't persuade these people without a good reason. Stasia stated, the marriage proposal does not come from House Tolstoy. It is I, Stasia, who is proposing this marriage. It has not been long since I was adopted into the family as the love child of the Marquis. But as soon as I was registered in the family, the Marquis decided that I should be engaged to Prince Sergel. I had no say in the matter, and I have no intention of being engaged or married to him. All I want is for the prince to give up on the idea of marrying me, so I am asking you for a temporary fake marriage, but of course, it would be naive of me to ask for such a difficult favor without offering anything in return. This is the dowry I bring. These are genuine gold bars, each authenticated with a seal from the Bank of Ath, the captain said. That is a lot of gold bars. Stasia continued, I understand the offer of marriage must come as a surprise, and I know it might even sound suspicious. So please feel free to check my background or ask me anything you would like to know. All I ask in return is that you consider my offer. The Duke stated, I can see your dilemma, but I don't understand. Why would you go to such lengths to avoid an unwanted marriage? you have quite a lot of money in your possession. You should look into seeking asylum abroad instead of marrying someone else. Therefore, I will have to turn down your offer of marriage. I suppose it would not be easy to find a safe place to stay with a chest of gold in your possession. You may stay the night in the castle, Stasia asked. Your Grace, wait. The Duke replied, so long. Stasia thought, I don't believe this. He turned me down right away without even giving it much thought, but I thought the Duke would never turn the offer down, since the duchy is in serious financial trouble. The aide spoke, Lady, you mentioned we could ask anything we wish to know. Is that all right? Stasia replied, yes. On the other hand, the Marquis shouted, that insolent wench, I took her in when she was nothing more than a lowly servant for a baron. That ingrate, how dare she leave my house? Send people out and find her. I want you to get me that arrogant wench right away. The aide continued, I was told you used to be a maid before you were adopted by the Marquis. Then may I ask how you came by all that gold? Stasia replied, that gold is the inheritance Olga, my half-sister, left in my name. The aide spoke, it would seem you knew the late Lady Olga before you were adopted by the Marquis. Stasia said, yes, she played the most significant role in my adoption. The aide asked, you know there are many noble houses out there. May I ask why you seek to marry the Duke in particular? Stasia thought, this seems to be the question he wanted to ask me all along. Stasia replied, yes, that is because House Rurick is the only independent house in the kingdom that is powerful enough to withstand any persuasion and threats that might come from the Marquis and the king. Besides, anyone who understands anything about politics can see the king imposes unfair policies on the duchy to collect a tremendous amount of tax in order to destabilize House Rurick. That is why I thought His Grace would welcome my offer, so I was quite taken aback when he didn't even consider it for a second. She thought, the Duke suggested that I seek asylum abroad, but the gold I carry will only make me a target for bandits. Once I cross the border, it will not keep me safe. She continued, to be completely honest with you, I only wanted the prince to call off the engagement. Once that is settled, His Grace and I could agree to a divorce. And I wanted to go somewhere quiet to live by myself. I would like that because I never got to live for myself as a maid. She thought, but I am actually lying about the divorce. Once I get to marry the Duke, I will do anything to win his heart. Then I will use his power and influence to make Sergel miserable. Or that was the plan, at least, but it would all mean nothing if I can't even marry the Duke at all. But hope is not lost yet. The Duke turned down my offer of marriage, but his aide is still asking me all these serious questions. That means I might still have a chance. Next scene. The captain shouted, please reconsider, look at all the gold in that chest. All that for a marriage, we have nothing to lose from this deal. Besides, that kind of money can help us secure what we need. Even if we must smuggle them, I'm talking about guns. We can't keep fighting gunmen with our bows. Our enemy, the Kingdom of Toluca, develops better guns each year. The Duke told him, you know very well, how His Majesty has banned the use of guns for all troops other than the Royal Guard, in case a rebellion might break out. I understand how you feel, but the offer she made sounds too good to be true. It could be a trap conceived by Marquis Tolstoy. The royalist forces only need a reason to take the duchy. We can't afford to give them any excuse to do so. Obolensky spoke. It didn't seem like Lady Stasia was lying about it. I understand her offer sounds almost too good to be true, but perhaps we could at least run a background check on her before turning her offer down. I do hope you would consider getting married. You guard Rurick Castle and the duchy zealously, because you still hold on to the memories of your family that linger in this place. All the knights understand that very well, but if you were to die without an heir, the duchy will eventually fall into the king's hands. I ask you to take the matter of your marriage more seriously, please, Your Grace. Next scene. Stasia thought, it's been 2 weeks since I arrived in Rurick Castle. They have not kicked me out, so I'm guessing the aide is still trying to convince the Duke, but I haven't heard any good news so far. Wait a minute. I recognize that carriage. Outside the castle, the knights spoke. It doesn't matter who he is. No one enters the castle but by His Grace's permission. The Marquis shouted, fool, I have no time to waste on the likes of you. Then he looked at Stasia. The Marquis stated, so that's where you were, you sneaky little wench. Stasia thought, why is my father here? The Duke came and asked, what is all this commotion about? The Marquis said, I apologize for coming here uninvited. I know I should have sent word in advance, but I had to come immediately once I found out my daughter has been causing you trouble. After some time, the Marquis said, I will take her back home immediately, but I almost forgot to mention something. His Majesty told me to deliver a message to you, when he heard I was heading for the duchy. You are to visit the royal palace within this month to discuss your marriage with Her Highness, the Princess. His Majesty has written a letter listing the possible consequences. Should you decide to refuse the offer, I hope you will choose wisely for the sake of the duchy. Stasia thought, it's a threat. The king is desperate to keep the duke under his thumb, because his reputation and popularity far exceed the king's. He knows the financial sanctions are not working. That is why the king plans to marry the duke off to one of his daughters. The Marquis said, we have stayed here long enough. Get ready to return home. Stasia replied, no. The Marquis again told her, I will ask you one last time. Stand up and get ready to leave. Stasia replied, no. The Marquis shouted, you arrogant little wench, you have no right. How dare you humiliate me before the duke? Get up right now. The aide thought, he hit her so hard that her nose is bleeding. The duke spoke, that is enough, Marquis. The Marquis replied, I apologize for causing a scene before you, but this is a family matter. I must ask you to stay out of it. The duke replied, no, this happened in my castle, and more importantly, this will soon be my family matter as well. Lady Stasia came here not to run from her family but to propose a temporary marriage to me, and I have decided to accept her proposal. The Marquis shouted, what is the meaning of this? She does not have my permission to be married. The duke told him, your permission won't be necessary. Guide the Marquis out of the castle. The Marquis said, His Majesty will not take this lightly. The duke stated, is that so? Then please deliver my message to him. I would not want to bother him with my wedding, so he can stay in the palace that keeps him so busy. After that, Stasia asked, do you mean that? The duke replied, we find ourselves in the same shoes now. We are both trying to get out of a marriage we don't want. Isn't this the answer you wanted anyway? Stasia said, well, yes, it is. Thank you. The duke emphasized, your cheeks are red. The physician will be with you shortly. Stasia replied, thank you. She thought, he's even better looking up close. Next scene. Stasia thought, the duke pushed on with the wedding with haste, so no one could intervene and oppose it. This marriage will serve as the foundation that will allow me to have my vengeance, and achieve the duty I swore to the gods. That's right, this is just a marriage of convenience, a means to an end, but why does it make my heart beat so fast? After both of them took their vows, the duke whispered, if you will allow me, then he kissed her hand. After some time, the captain spoke, what a day to celebrate, His Grace got married. I was worried he might try to die a bachelor holed up in his castle all this time. Obolensky said, but did you hear that dry wedding vow? I think he sees it as nothing more than a marriage of convenience. The aide told them, then I guess it is all up to us now. It's our job to make sure they never have to break their vows. The captain spoke, His Grace's happy marriage depends on us now, and we are going to do everything we can to make it happen. Obolensky told him, it's not a matter of our efforts. The aide continued, first, we are going to contact the press and tell the world about this secret little wedding. Once many people learn about the marriage, His Grace will find it harder to get a divorce out of the blue. Besides, His Majesty won't be able to offer his daughter as a bride, once the public finds out about this wedding. Obolensky asked, what if the Marquis goes on a rampage after reading the article, saying he never gave his blessing for this marriage? The aide replied, Her Grace, the new Duchess, said something about that. The Marquis is very sensitive about his reputation, so he would never bring himself to say something like that. The captain asked, did you discuss such things with her before the wedding? The aide replied, yes. In fact, she is quite a remarkable person in many ways. I knew it from the moment she entered the castle. The captain told them, I'm getting excited about their children already. Obolensky said, what are you talking about? The captain replied, a young man and a young lady will be sharing a bed. A baby is bound to come in due time, isn't that right? The aide replied, well, both of them thought that was not the response they were expecting. Then, at night, one of the maids said, you were so beautiful today. Stasia replied, thank you for saying that. By the way, can you tell me anything about the Duke? I would need to know something about him so I could assist him in any way possible. The maid told her, actually, we don't know much about His Grace since we barely have any occasions to see him. Stasia asked, what do you mean? Don't you help him with the bath or help him dress? The maid replied, Well, His Grace insists on doing such things by himself. If he ever needs something, he calls the aide. Stasia thought, I guess he does not communicate with anyone he does not feel close to. I somehow managed to marry him, but getting close to him will prove to be a challenge. Well, we are still married on paper, so I'm sure we'll find ways to get close once we start sharing a bed. I knew I would have to sleep with him the moment I decided to show up at his gates and propose to him. But now that I actually have to do it, it's hard to calm myself down, but I must do it nonetheless. Our bedroom is right behind this door. Next moment, the Duke asked, do you find the temperature in the bedroom to your liking? Stasia thought, the bedroom has 2 beds and 2 doors as well. She asked, what is going on? The Duke replied, this is a temporary marriage of convenience, and we will be separated in time. We must share a bedroom to make sure people won't get suspicious, but we don't really have to share a bed. Stasia thought, this is bad. I didn't think you would do something like this. The Duke continued, choose whichever side you want. I will take the other one. Good night. I must return to work now. Stasia told him, wait a minute. What time will you be done? The Duke replied, it will take me a long time. I would suggest you don't wait up. Stasia thought, this is trickier than I thought. Outside the room, the Duke was blushing. Next morning, Stasia thought, I ended up sleeping in. I guess he did come back and sleep here after all. I thought they called him the Beast of the Duchy because he was barbaric. Maybe his nickname was in reference to his cold character. I do understand this is only a marriage of convenience for us, but what kind of man shuns his bride like that on their wedding night? If people find out we never consummated the marriage, they will start questioning the legitimacy of the marriage itself. That's right. This could work. On the other hand, the aide asked, you could share a room with her, you know. Are you seriously planning to move into the office now? The Duke replied, I feel uncomfortable sharing a room with someone I hardly know. The aide continued, well, the idea is to get to know more about each other by sharing a room. The Duke asked, what's the point? We'll be divorced in a few years anyway. The aide told him, who knows what might happen in time, don't be so quick to dismiss the possibilities. Suddenly, the captain came and said, I heard you had a fabulous night, congratulations. Both of them were shocked. The aide then said, I thought you were not interested at all. Did you really consummate the marriage? The Duke asked, who is spreading those false rumors? The captain replied, I just heard the maids whispering to themselves in the hallway. They said Her Grace was washing the bed sheets herself, because she was too embarrassed to show them to others. The Duke asked, are you telling me she started the rumors? The aide told him, I think you should let this rumor spread. Those who oppose this marriage will only be happy to find out you have not consummated the marriage. The captain spoke, did you really spend the night working in the office, on your wedding night, no less? Please tell me you at least held her hand. You do realize Her Grace would have felt quite offended if you did not do anything on your wedding night. The Duke said, wait a minute, I was only trying to protect her honor. Are you going to spend your time idling all day? Leave my office and get back to work. After that, the captain said, he is completely clueless. The aide replied, well, this is not exactly his strongest suit. When it comes to their marriage, we probably shouldn't rest our hopes on His Grace. Instead, we should put our hopes on Her Grace instead. After some time, the Duke thought, I can't focus at all. Was I supposed to touch her then? But I can't even take the responsibility to look after her. This is only a marriage of convenience, and she will eventually leave me whenever she chooses to. Knowing that, how could I touch her? No, I can't bring myself to do it. Having a wife or starting a family of my own are luxuries I can't afford. What is she doing out there? She is in danger. The Duke struck the arrow. The next moment, that arrow hit the wild animal. The Duke asked, are you all right? The castle is surrounded by forest, so there are many wild animals around. Why were you wandering about all alone? It is not safe. Stasia replied, I'm sorry. I was too bored to stay cooped up in my room. Besides, I thought I should at least know the layout of the castle, since I will be the lady of the castle for the time being. And that's how I ended up here. I was fascinated by the herbs I saw because they are quite rare where I used to live, so I forgot to check my surroundings. The Duke told her, your role is only temporary, so you don't have to take on any responsibilities here, lady. You may be the Duchess now, but there is nothing I expect you to do. Stasia spoke, but the Duke continued, in any case, it is my fault that I did not assign anyone to keep you safe while you stay in my castle. After all, you are an important guest here, so I will assign a personal guard to keep you safe. now let us return to the castle, I will walk you back. Stasia replied, that's fine, I can make it back on my own. She felt the pain. The Duke asked, did you sprain your ankle when you tripped earlier? Stasia spoke, no, I'm fine. The Duke stated, I apologize, none of this would have happened if I had set a guard to protect you in advance. Stasia replied, no, that's fine, it's all because I went out on my own. The Duke commented, I will get the physician to see you immediately once we get to the castle. After that, Obolensky spoke, I have been assigned to keep you safe from today on, Your Grace. Stasia replied, it's nice to see you again. By the way, what brings you here? I won't be going anywhere since my foot is in this sorry mess. Obolensky said, His Grace has ordered me to keep you safe at all times, even when you are in the castle. Stasia told her, I don't understand. I have never heard of any knight following a lady around inside the castle just to keep her safe. Are you sure His Grace did not ask you to keep an eye on me at all times? Obolensky replied, no, that's not true. There are many people who wish to take the duchy for themselves. The forces of Toluca are constantly trying to invade us, and now we have to withstand the sanctions forced upon us by the Romanovs as well. His Grace has always been exposed to such threats his entire life, so he is genuinely worried that something might happen to you. I hope you did not misunderstand his intentions. After some time, Stasia thought, he acts cold and indifferent, as if he would break up with me anytime since this is only a marriage of convenience. But he also cares about me enough to assign one of his most trusted knights to protect me. Does he care about me? Anyway, I hope that means I have some chance of winning his heart at one point. Late night, Stasia thought, who is that? I feel so drowsy. Is it because of the drug I took? Is that Duke Rurick? The Duke asked, I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Do you feel better now? Lady Stasia, please put your clothes on. Stasia thought, my clothes? She asked, but I do have my clothes on. Then she thought, is he blushing because of me? But I thought he was a cold man who couldn't care less about me. I see, I must be dreaming. Why else would the Duke show feelings for me like I want him to? I know he would never do that unless this was a dream. The Duke told her, you're smiling, so I assume you're feeling better now. I see that you're fine, so I will leave the room now. Stasia spoke, no, I'm not fine at all. My ankle is sore, and it hurts. This is all because you made me stay all cooped up like a sack of grain. That won't go anywhere, that is so mean of you. She thought, since this is my dream, I want to be selfish and whine like a child. The Duke told her, that was my fault, I apologize. Stasia thought, he keeps acting silly today, that's kind of cute. Even though it's just my mind making up this image of him in my dream. Well, since this is a dream, maybe I could touch him for once. Then she said, Duke, they say massaging the calves can relieve pain when you have ankle injuries. The Duke replied, I have noticed this from the first day we met, but you can be quite cheeky at times. I will give you a massage as a way of saying sorry. Stasia thought, he looks even more handsome when he's smiling. I wonder if I'll ever get to see him smiling in real life one day. How strange this is. The massage is making me feel drowsy, even though I'm already sleeping and dreaming. The Duke said, feel free to go to sleep if you're feeling tired. I will keep massaging your leg. Stasia thought, how I wish this moment would never stop. It would be so nice if everything that had happened to me was only a bad dream. She said, and this is really sad. I don't remember the last time anyone made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside, but it's sad to think I won't find this warmth anymore when I open my eyes again. On the other hand, the prince shouted in his sleep, stay away from me, Olga. The lady said, Your Highness, please wake up. The prince woke up and shouted, it was that nightmare again. The lady asked, are you all right, Your Highness, shall I fetch you some water? The prince thought, she looks like Olga. The next moment, he said, get the hell out of my sight, what rotten luck, everything has been a mess since that day. The prince continued thinking, if only Olga had not snuck up on us like that, then that accident never would have happened, and I wouldn't have needed to make a ridiculous offer to Erzay just to cover up the incident. I was supposed to marry Olga, then I could have made her pray for 1,000 days so I could become king. That was the only way to make sure no one ever looks down on me again. I was always lacking in my ways. The only thing I had over my brother, who was older than me, was my good looks. I was always slower than him in everything, from learning how to walk to learning how to read. But it didn't matter, I was the younger child anyway. I could afford to take my time, because I thought my father would one day give me a chance, and grant me his favor as well, and I believed that. However, that hope was shattered the year I turned 15, when I lost in a match of archery against a kid who was 5 years younger than me. That day, I went from a disappointing son to a fool my father no longer cared about. That day changed me. I decided to step over people's heads instead of begging for their approval and recognition. I need to get my hands on her sister. My father doesn't like me, and my brother has a greater claim to the throne than I do. So the only way for me to become king is the 1,000 days prayer. Next scene. The prince asked, "How have you been? Did you teach your daughter some proper etiquette this time?" The Marquis replied, "I apologize, Your Highness, about what you must have seen in the newspaper. Didn't you hear the news?" The prince started reading the newspaper. Then he said, "What is the meaning of this? How could you let Stasia marry someone else? And of all people, it just had to be that arrogant bastard. This won't do at all. I will go to Rurick Castle myself." On the other hand, Stasia thought, "He's gone already. When did he get up? How could it be so hard to see my husband's face? If only he were half as cute as the version of him I dream about. I'm not sure if this is because of the medicine I've been taking for my ankle, but I've noticed I've been sleeping more lately, and having the same dream over and over again for some reason." Obolensky came and told her, "I brought you your meal." Stasia replied, "You won't have to bring me meals anymore. My ankle is much better now." Obolensky said, "You recovered sooner than I thought. It seems like the affectionate massages you've been getting every night worked their charm." Stasia asked, "What are you talking about?" Obolensky replied, "The Duke has been massaging your legs every night since the day you sprained your ankle." Stasia thought, "What, so it wasn't a dream?" Obolensky asked, "Why are you so surprised about that? You should know," Stasia replied. "My goodness, I didn't think it was real. I was so drowsy from the medication that I thought I had been dreaming about it the whole time." Obolensky thought, "What?" On the other hand, the captain spoke, "You seem tired, Your Grace." The Duke asked, "Why are you smiling like that?" The captain said, "I heard you've been massaging Her Grace's legs every night. You kept telling us how this is only a marriage of convenience, but you've been sacrificing sleep to take care of her every night. You are truly in love, Your Grace." The Duke told him, "That's enough. It's not what you think it is. I am in a marriage of convenience with Lady Stasia. However, she came all the way here by herself, trusting I would help her, even though she knew nothing about me. I felt bad that I had been cold to her, and that's why I'm trying to make up for it. As long as she is here, she is a subject of the duchy I must protect and care for, regardless of our marriage." The captain asked, "Do you mean to say it was only out of a sense of duty, Your Grace?" The Duke replied, "That is correct." The captain continued, "But Your Grace, you should know that not many husbands look after their wives as lovingly as you do. So I hope you will search your soul and ask yourself what you really feel about her. You seem tired, Your Grace. The discussion about night training can wait. Please get some rest." The Duke thought, "How I really feel. How could I ignore those sad words coming from someone so frail and fragile? It made me feel like the wrong impression she gave me on the first day had only been a hard shell to protect her soft heart from all the troubles and difficulties she had lived through, and it reminded me of myself when I was little." The butler spoke, "This is an heirloom and the treasured sword of House Rurick. Young master, from this day forth, you will be the new Duke of Rurick. Please remember that you are the only remaining heir of House Rurick, so you must become strong." The Duke thought, "I will do everything in my power to keep her safe while she is here, but that's all it is. I can't afford to feel anything else about her. I don't ever want to feel the sorrow of losing my loved ones again." Next scene, Obolensky told her, "Your Grace, your ankle has not completely healed yet. You shouldn't be going around the manor." Stasia replied, "But it's not that bad. I can still work." The Duke came in. Stasia spoke, "I have something to tell you," but the next moment, she was on the ground. After some time, the Duke asked, "So what did you want to tell me?" Stasia thought, "I should be working hard to impress the Duke so he would open his heart to me, but instead, I'm constantly groggy from the medication, and I even fell face flat in front of him. I'm so embarrassed." She said, "I know this might sound weird, but I didn't realize you had been massaging me all this time. I was so groggy from the medication that I thought I had been dreaming." Stasia thought, "Look how cold his stare is. He might have massaged me, but that smile I saw must have been my imagination." She said, "I wasn't myself due to the effects of the drug. I don't remember what I did, but I apologize if I was ever rude to you. I won't act like that again, and you don't have to keep massaging me either." The Duke replied, "You weren't rude to me, and even if you had been, I wouldn't hold it against you. In any case, you are a duchess now, my dear. You don't have to worry about these little things, in case they slight me. Stasia asked, did you just say my dear? Like this video, hit the like button, and subscribe for more videos.